Phoenix serial killer shoots 6 people, one connected to the JonBenet case. Welcome back to True Crime News. So glad to have you aboard. This is your host, Ted Corner speaking. If you are interested in crime in general, consider subscribing. It isn't long ago that Phoenix was hunted by a spree or serial killer shooter. We still need to give you an update on that case. It will follow soon. But another spree or serial killer shooter has been on the loose in Phoenix suburbs until this Monday. At the end of the video, we cover who the serial shooter was and how the police became unexpected help to identify him. The police linked the murders of 2 women to the murder of a high-profile forensic psychologist who consulted on the JonBenet Ramsey case. If you don't know about the case, we will leave a timeline at the end of the video. Besides, I'm reading the book We Had Your Daughter about the JonBenet case. If you want to see our book reviews, follow or befriend us on Goodreads. Link will be in the description. The police in the Phoenix suburb of Scottsdale told the killings of Veleria Sharp, 48 years, and Laura Anderson, 49 years, are related to the shooting of Dr. Stephen Pitt. Despite being shot in the head, one woman managed to crawl from the building and onto the sidewalk. There she flagged down a bus driver. The bus driver called 911. Cops and paramedics rushed to the scene, but the woman was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital minutes later. The police on the scene spotted a trail of blood, which they followed to a nearby building where they found another shooting victim who was pronounced dead at the scene. The husband of Mrs. Sharp told in a statement, "The world lost one of the finest women he had ever had the pleasure of knowing. He welcomed people's love and prayers, but he wouldn't answer any questions at the time." The law firm where Sharp and Anderson worked issued a statement telling both women were treasured by co-workers who were mourning their death and helping the police with the investigation. Sharp was praised as both a mother and wife who cherished her family and music. Anderson was described as both a mother and a grandmother with intellect and passion. 10 hours after the murders of the 2 women, about 6 miles away, psychologist Levine was fatally shot in an office park. Mr. Levine had a life coaching business located in the building where the shooting took place. Just 3 days earlier, the first shooting took place. It was the murder of the forensic psychiatrist Pitt, 59 years, who helped investigate the high-profile 1996 JonBenet Ramsey murder case, as well as a string of other killings in the area. Pitt was leaving the office when witnesses told they had heard a loud argument, then gunfire, as he was shot. The Phoenix police reported that Mr. Pitt was critically wounded when officers first arrived on the scene. Vince Lewis, who is the spokesman for the Phoenix police, told he had no information whether the killing is work-connected, but they are not ruling anything out. But at this moment, the loud argument might suggest the shooter and Mr. Pitt knew each other, either professionally or personally. Pitt was known for assisting in the investigation of the death of 6-year-old child beauty queen JonBenet Ramsey in the 19s after she was found brutally murdered in her Boulder, Colorado home. Pitt was of the belief that the pineapple found in JonBenet's digestive tracts was a key to the investigation, as it proved she had eaten not long before she was murdered. JonBenet's mom, Patsy, had said the little girl hadn't eaten any fruit before she went missing, but Pitt believed in a cover-up, and this was raised as Patsy's fingerprints were found on the fruit bowl in the home. Pitt formerly told People magazine the fingerprints on the bowl cup that was used to give JonBenet pineapple were the fingerprints of Patsy. It suggests someone isn't telling the truth about what happened at the home at the night he had added. However, in 2008, a prosecutor cleared both the parents and the brother of JonBenet's murder on DNA evidence. Mr. Pitt also took part in the investigation of the baseline killer in Phoenix in 2006. A man was hunted down and later convicted of killing 9 people. His latest case was on a spree of shootings in the Maryvale area, which began on April 6th. People have been shot, and this week a victim shot last month died from the injuries. The shooter in the case is still at large. A friend and fellow psychologist named David Weinstock has expressed speculations that a person connected to one of Pitt's criminal cases could be behind the shooting. He told he could be wrong, but the timing and circumstances sounded like someone who was waiting outside his office. Weinstock said it could be someone who got out of prison after Pitt had helped to put him away, or someone who felt threatened because Pitt might be working on a case the shooter was taking part of. Weinstock added that not long ago he and Pitt has discussed the risks they face in their professions. In a statement, Dean Guy Reed said Dr. Pitt was beloved on campus and went above and beyond mentoring their students and lecturing to their community. Pitt gained recognition in his career for his work in forensic psychiatric evaluations, and he has appeared on news shows where he talked about the investigative work on his various high-profile cases. The center manager of the complex, Joanne Sanchez, told Pitt was a close friend who she called the Thin Man because he had the biggest heart ever. Bobbitt Siegel, who is a licensed clinical social worker who also worked in the building, said everyone in the complex knew Pitt. It's such a loss for his professional community, the forensic community, his family, and for me personally, she said. After Pitt got shot, a suspect sketch of the man who fled the scene was released. The sketch showed a bald male who was wearing a dark-colored hat with a short brim. A reward of $21,000 was offered for information that can lead to an arrest and conviction in the case. The police became a tip and became aware of 56-year-old Dwight Lamon Jones, who was staying in a hotel. When officers approached the hotel room, they heard gunfire and found his body. Mr. Jones is suspected of killing 6 people on a murderous rampage. One of the victims, a well-known forensic psychiatrist who testified against him in court in 2010. It was an unexpected twist that drew the police's attention to Mr. Jones. His ex-wife, Connie Jones, told how her current husband, who is a retired police detective, connected the dots between her divorce and the crime scenes and notified the police. In a statement, Connie Jones told her ex-husband was a very emotional, disturbed man. She could report how Mr. Jones had a domestic violence charge against him from 2009, and she told she had feared for her life for the past 9 years. We will keep an eye on the case and keep you updated. Timeline of the murder of little beauty queen JonBenet Ramsey. December 26, 1996. JonBenet Ramsey, 6 years old, was found dead in the basement of her family's Boulder home several hours after her mother called 911 to say the girl was missing and that she had found a ransom note. She suffered a fractured skull and appeared to be strangled. January 1st, 1997. Patsy and John Ramsey appear in their first TV interview to protest their innocence. April 30th, 1997. The couple participates in informal interviews at the Boulder Country Justice Center. May 20th, 1997. Mrs. Ramsey, who authorities believe could have written the ransom note, gives police a fifth handwriting sample. Summer 1997. The Ramseys moved from Colorado to Atlanta. March 12, 1998. Boulder police asked the DA to take the case to the grand jury. June 1998. Boulder police present the results of the investigation to Boulder District Attorney Alex Hunter's prosecuting team and outside advisors. The Ramseys are interviewed separately over 3 days by investigators. August 12, 1998. Authorities say the Ramsey case will go to a grand jury and the following months it begins. October 13th, 1999. The grand jury disbands and the DA announced there is not enough evidence to file charges against the couple. March 29th, 2001. The Ramseys filed an $80 million libel and defamation lawsuit against officers at the Boulder Police Department, who later agreed to an undisclosed settlement in the case. March 31, 2003. A federal judge says the evidence is more consistent with the theory that an intruder murdered JonBenet than it was with the theory that Mrs. Ramsey did. December 2003. New DA confirms that DNA from a spot of blood from JonBenet's underwear has been entered into the FBI's national database, but that is not from her family. June 24, 2006. Patsy Ramsey dies in Roswell, Georgia, at the age 49 from ovarian cancer. August 16, 2006. John Mark Carr, a 41-year-old American schoolteacher who confessed to the crime, is arrested in Bangkok, Thailand, but his DNA does not match that found on the body. July 9, 2008. DA makes public a letter she has written to John Ramsey explaining that new DNA tests have convinced her that no member of the Ramsey family should remain under any suspicion. September 2010. Reports surface that police seek to interview JonBenet's brother, Burke, who was 9 at the time of her death, as they continue to investigate the killing. July 21, 2011. John Ramsey remarries to Jan Russo, 53. June 14, 2012. James Kohler, who worked as an investigator in the DA office, writes in a new book that the Ramsey family may have been involved, at least as an accessory after the fact. October 23, 2013. Judge rules that the court will release grand jury indictment about the Ramseys. October 25, 2013. The indictment is released, revealing that in 1999 it accused the Ramseys of 2 counts each of child abuse resulting in death in connection with the first-degree murder of JonBenet. We will make an entire video about the JonBenet case. Don't miss out on all the true crime articles we share with our community. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up.